What's up, YouTube? Thanks for tuning in to Chase Games, and tonight we're going to talk about units that are just around the corner. This isn't necessarily one event. We've got the gotcha unit I've got on screen. Keep in mind, this is Google translated terms. This is Elijah. They're calling it Gemma. He's coming the 15th. I don't think we're getting any Blossoms the 15th. I'm pretty sure that's all. The 30th, we're going to get another event. You know, that'll be the end of the current event, DQ9. So we'll get something, a new event on the 30th, it should be. And then I believe a week or so after that, we're getting some Blossoms. So I'm going to look at the next two banner units, the next two gotcha units, and then the four Blossom units that are coming. The DQ9 units. All of the DQ9 gotcha units are blossoming at the same time. You should expect that the very beginning of December, basically. The first week of December. Maybe like the beginning of the second week. Again, speculation. Sometimes they change things, but there's basically no reason not to expect these things. Alright, so the next banner unit. Let's talk about it. Elijah, okay? Let's look at it. So this isn't displaying the stats really, but keep in mind, this is big, okay? Really big. This guy's 50 weight, okay? Obviously, that's not, like, unique, but you do need to make sure that you've got good 50 weight units, and, you know, all these awesome hero, you know, Solo and Monster Wrangler and all, you know, and two, like, they're all 65 points. So, having a unit that's really good for 50 points is good. Awakening 3. Okay, that's pretty standard now, I think, right? Okay. I will let you guys pause to read these things. You know, good in PvP. You know, performance that can be used on high difficulty levels. He's got a grab and paralyze attack. It's often paralyzed. So if a unit is weak to paralysis, he will guaranteed do that. And it's saying his weak point is just that he's weak. Yeah. Basically, the more awakenings you get on him, the tougher he is. His awakening perks are survivability based. But that said, this guy's very usable at Awakening 1. Very usable. Awakening 3 gives him a lot. It gives him a good bit of survivability. It gives him 30% damage reduction over half HP. And he also comes with a heal. He has a base perk that heals him for half health, under 70%. So he has decent survivability. He has evasion and things like that, 40% evasion. But if you really want to make sure that this guy ain't getting one shot, you need 3 awakenings. 5 awakening is a 2-turn magic reflect shield. But anyway, so his abilities. This looks like it's actually range 4. So range 4 forward pulls one enemy up to 3 squares and has a high chance of paralyzing it. So this is a 60% chance. Okay, that's often chance. So again, if they're weak to it, that's automatic. I'm not sure if this ability is going to have a percentage modifier on it. I don't know if that'll go from 60 to 70 at Awakening 10, at level 10. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's good. So, you know, it's a pretty useful move to have in Arena. Then it's second attack here. It's a large fan shape. So remember, this guy's movement 3. So this is a pretty good range with this guy. Deals heavy martial damage to all enemies within range. This is typeless. And has a high probability of greatly reducing self. So it often reduces self-healing for 3 turns. And pulls them 1 square closer. So the pull can be very useful. Be careful with it, though, because it puts the enemy closer to you as well. I don't have any experience with self-healing reduction, but I think a Stark is going to be just an absolute monster in PvP for a while. And the guy is, like, ridiculously hard to take down with his self-healing. I don't know how much this is going to reduce his healing. This may be a godsend. Or even just, other... this will affect him. If he gets hit by an opposing Lodja, this is going to affect his self-heal. So I can't tell you off the top of my head which meta units have self-heals right now. I know there's some. But this is not the flashiest effect, but I think it actually might be... Against some teams, it's going to be a really big deal. And then his third ability, range 2 to 4, this is single target, inflicts heavy frizz spell damage on an enemy, ignoring some damage reduction. So there's a lot of damage reduction out there right now. I don't believe this gets past revive effects. It doesn't say anything about that. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. But this is going to get through shields and stuff like that, so that can be pretty big. Alright, so his base perk is the heal that I mentioned. He heals himself by half the first time he falls below 70%. And when he activates that heal, he gets a turn 1.5% potency increase for 1 turn. Let me see. His first awakening is a double agility and evasion increase. So that's 3 turns of 40% extra agility and 40% physical martial evasion. So pretty good. I always like stuff like that. Yeah, you're taking a bit of chance. It's not a full dodge, so you got to be careful. But I love physical evasion. When you're on the offensive, you can pick like all or mostly physical and martial teams. So it's not like you can just let this guy take all of the physical hits, but it's unlikely that he's going to get taken out by physical attacks like easily. So there's that. His agility is like his agility is not crazy. It's like it's fine, it's good, but remember he's getting an extra 40% for the first 3 turns. So say that like he's around 400 agility, he'll get another 160 on top of that. So he'll be sitting at about 560 agility. Maybe closer to like 540, 550 at Awakening 1. Depends on family ranks too. But yeah, he's got a good agility. You might still want agility gear on him. I'm out of the meta. Sorry, I'm not going to pretend. But anyway, that's Lodja. This is a good unit, and I think you can really get away with him at Awakening 1. I think there's a lot of units where you're not really getting their full kit at Awakening 1. You really want 3. But this guy is, he's getting most of his offensive capabilities at Awakening 1. And then, 15 days later, November 30th, I'm almost certain that's when we're going to get this guy. Summer Sorrow. I don't know exactly what his name will be. Pizarro, the Demon Prince of the Fiery Sky. Okay. Yeah, so, Awakening 3. Now, this guy is 65 weight. And, let me see. That's, yeah. He's a Dark Lord, of course. In his human form, like... Is he a hero at any point in the game? Doesn't he start as a good guy? Maybe not a good guy, but, like, not evil? I'm not sure. Anyway. This guy is apparently pretty good. He seems to be an improved upon version of the initial Human Sorrow. Again, I'll let you guys pause to read these things, but he has an ability that it's... Okay, so Elena's Trailblazer... Make that a fan range damage, so he's still going to the other side. He's hitting more stuff along the way, and he gives himself a 50% shield when he goes through. He's got a Frizz physical attack that recovers 30% of the damage done as HP. And yeah, he has a I'll actually talk about this because it's a little hard to understand. This explained it to me a little bit. At the beginning of his first 3 actions, or the first 3 times he has an enemy within range of him, at the start of his turn, this is all automatic. I believe it's a large diamond area around him. Sorry, I'm still sick. He will attack all enemies within range of him. So I believe this happens up to 3 times, and it happens to all enemies within range. But it's only going to happen 3 times. But it's an AoE attack, it looks like. The power is only 250%, but the attack is large and it does not allow physical reflection. So, okay. I mean, that's great. He's doing free damage. And he's got double Indomitable Spirit. So, it also points out, I didn't really realize this, with his third awakening, he gets status or abnormal, he gets status invulnerability, but only below 20% HP. So, I mean, not like, you know, you don't really want to assume that he's going to have status resistance, but it is worthwhile. You know, if this guy's stunned, and then you knock him down to 1 health, you know, with his Indomitable Spirit, that unit, he's going to be alive, and now he's not going to be paralyzed anymore. So watch out for that in PvP. Okay, so as far as his abilities, Summer Force, whatever they're going to call this, increases his own tension for 1 turn and enters a Frizz Crack Force state. I don't know. So he's going to give himself Frizz and Crack Force? I don't know if that's got to be like, that's 2 separate buffs, I would imagine. So he's increasing his tension as well. I don't believe there's it doesn't say anything about a limit on use here. It is MP 40. So, I mean, it doesn't matter in PvP, but you're probably not using this in PvP, but anyway, for PvE, this is good. I only mentioned the MP consumption because, you know, if you're using this 3, 4, 5 times, it is going to use up a bit of his MP, but then again, he's not using Magic Burst or anything, so. Okay, Dolphin Wave. This is the one that I said acted like Trailblazer, but instead of just a straight line, okay, it's got the fan range, so you're hitting things to the side as well. So large, so this is a spell, okay, it's non-reflectable, but it's based off your attack power, so again, he's very similar to the OG Human Sorrow. So it hits everything within the range that it goes to. He ends up on the other side, okay, and further reduces own damage by 50% once. Okay, so he can use this attack can be used more than once, but the 50% damage reduction is a shield. It probably only lasts 1 turn, I can't say for certain, but it's 1 hit. He gets a 1 hit 50% reduction shield. That's really good given how this attack works, and I think it's going to do a damn good bit of damage too. So, and then his third ability, Rising Sun, range 1 to 2, inflicts 410% Frizz physical damage on one enemy, and deals 30% of the damage dealt to your HP. So, I mean, this is going to be a substantial HP heal. I mean, this is. So, say you only deal 500 damage with this, which I think you're going to do more than that, even type neutral, even with the arena reduction. What's that? That's 150 HP healed. If you do 1,000 damage to something, you're healing 300 HP. That's pretty good. Okay. So, it's not, you know, it's going to be a lot crazier in PvE. But I don't know how. Again, I'm out of the meta. I mean, if you got this guy 3 to 5 awakening, you know, especially his third awakening gives him 1.5%, 1.5 times potency boost below 20% HP. So if you've got that, if you trigger your Indomitable Spirit and then you can hit something, if they're weak to Frizz, I mean, he could hit for 1,500, 2,000 damage even in arena scenarios. Don't take that as gospel, but I think things are hitting that hard now, right? So, I mean, if you hit for 1,500 damage, you know, that's 450 HP back. So, considerable. Yeah. I guess, I thought, you know, it's funny, once you look at the numbers, like, I thought it was going to be higher, but, yeah, even, like, 2,000 damage, you're only healing 600. Still, it's a heal, it's considerable, okay? His base perk actually gives him both the double Indomitable Spirit and his the follow-up, well, not follow-up attacks, the automatic attacks for surrounding enemies for 3 times. Oh, okay, so yeah, the large diamond, the rhombus, whatever they call it. So it's actually everything within 3 tiles of you. Okay. So yeah, that's 250% non-reflectable martial damage. Or sorry, physical damage. Forget. The translation calls martial and physical. It's the same thing. You just know that it's an actual, like, physical because it'll have a percentage modifier. If it says physical damage and there's no modifier, it's martial. Anyway, so his first awakening is pretty standard. You know, odd turns, he gets attack, defense, speed, and attack rate. Okay. It says attack rate. I don't believe that's... I think this is evasion. Again, this is Google Translate. I'm fairly certain he gets evasion. But yeah, he's getting attack, he's getting defense, he's getting agility, and I'm fairly certain it's just like the OG Sorrow where he gets evasion. The third ability, that is the... you know, it's like Guts from Pokemon. When you're below 20% HP, he hits 1.5 times harder. That's not a one-time thing. He just... Be very careful of, you know, weak Sorrow. I mean, the OG one was the same way, the human one. But this one has the added bonus of removing status ailments. So again, if you have him stunned or paralyzed or something of that nature, and you reduce his HP, okay, he's going to do it. So if he goes after you and he's stunned, you're like, okay, awesome, he's stunned. I don't have to worry about it. If you knock his HP down, he's going to hit you back. And he's also, this is 3 Awakening, of course, he's also going to have a 1.5 times potency, so be very careful reducing Sorrow's HP if you're relying on him being stunned, especially. Okay. And then his 5th Awakening is good, but not crazy. It's double breath resistance for 3 turns. Each stack appears to be 15%, so that's 30% breath reduction at full Awakening. So that's good, but not crazy. Honestly, this is another thing, like, you know, his 3rd Awakening is very good, but this is another thing, like, I would feel comfortable using this guy at 1 Awakening. I know I have it thrown in my face all the time, like, everything needs 3 Awakenings. Yes, obviously the Awakenings are good. He's a physical unit, so, you know, I believe they, like, some, you know, units that actually use their attack stat generally benefit from Awakenings more than, you know, martial and spell units, I believe. You know, I can definitely see this guy being very usable at 1 Awakening, but again, I'm not, you know, I'm not that guy. You can look at the stats here for a second. These are non-awakened stats. Convex is Awakening, if you haven't figured this out. Fully awakened stats. I'm sorry. Oh, very high agility on this guy. Okay, and then we will look at the Blossoms. Graynarl, okay? Yeah, Graynarl, 50-point unit. Are these all... Okay, so 3 of these are 50-point units. Alright, again, I'll let you pause on these. I actually have not read these. Yeah, I'm going to go faster on these. Anyway, you guys can, if you want to read these, you can pause or go to Game 8 yourself. Okay, so his first ability, I haven't seen these guys in a long time, so, you know, these are the original abilities. You know, his Lightning Breath, I don't know how this damage looks right now. I know when this guy came out, this was kind of stupid damage. It's like, why is this thing hitting this fucking hard? With a fan range. But yeah, he's got a good long range single target frizz breath damage. So yeah, he's doing great frizz and zap damage. All right, so what is this new damage? This new attack, Breath of Light. That's not what they're gonna call it. So it's range forward. So it's not a crazy range necessarily. It's a good range, but notice this doesn't have an X in the middle, so it's range forward. But you don't have to have a unit in the center. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 squares out. Okay, so randomly deals zap breath damage to enemies within range 3 times, and rarely lowers zap resistance for 3 turns. So, you know, this is something. So as long as if there's only one enemy in this reticule, targeting reticule or whatever you want to call it, the AoE pattern, it's going to hit them all 3 times. If there's more than one enemy in that range is going to, you know, it's going to be random. You don't know how many hits each will take, so rarely lowers zap resistance. So that's a 20% chance. I don't know how much the resistance is. I don't know how good this... I have no idea how good this is going to be. It could be crazy. I don't know. I don't believe anybody's too psyched about this guy, but it's going to be good. So if you've got one of these sitting around at 3 or 5 Awakening, he's probably going to be worth it. I'm only saying that based off how good Greynarl was when he released. So don't take that as gospel. These are the new talent traits here. When your HP falls below 50%, Dragon Shield will activate. Dragon Shield. Okay, that's down here. Receive attacks from adjacent allies. Is he gonna cover? I don't... When is... Wait, he's gonna take attacks when his HP is low? That's weird. That could be wrong. I don't... You know, I'm not even gonna... Talent trait 2 is automatic HP recovery. It's probably like 5 or 8% or something. Alright, I'm not gonna dwell on this guy because this is weird. I wouldn't count on... There's probably a translation thing. Otherwise, that's very, very weird. Alright, so this is kind of his Zam counterpart, Barbarossa, something like that. Who cares? He wasn't bad when he came out, but he was very overshadowed by Greynarl. Alright, so I'll let you read these strong points. You can pause if you like. Yeah. Weak points, not very versatile. I believe it's because he doesn't have 2 damage typings on his original abilities, at least. He's just Zam. He's got a Zam physical, he's got Zam breath. I love the 3x3 area attacks. Okay, so his new ability, it looks like it is exactly the same as Greynarl's, but with Zam. So yeah, I mean, if you need... I don't know where Zam damage is in the meta right now. I mean, yeah, if you got this guy at, like, 5 Awakening or something, he's probably worth blossoming, but... I don't know. He's not very exciting. Again, I could... Dude, I could be missing stuff, okay. Oh, he has Zam Force. Yeah, Greynarl has Zap Force, and it affects the enemies around him on the first turn, I believe. Or no, on odd turns, yeah. Because I believe Greynarl has the exact same base perk. Okay, so his new talent perks. At the start of battle or action, if your HP is 50% above, reduce damage by 30%. So this is actually just like Lodge's 3rd Awakening I was talking about. So this is good. It's not like crazy, but like, you know, your chances of being a one-shot with this are... they're pretty low. Increases Zam potency by 20%. Cool. And then he's got some stat increases here. These are his base... These are his OG Awakening perks. Okay, so his 3rd Awakening is when your HP falls below half. Greatly recover your HP and increase your breath power and effects for 3 turns. I don't know how big that thing is. His 5th Awakening is MP regen? Man, they really didn't even try with this guy next to Greynarl, it looks like. So again, if this guy is sitting in your box fully awakened, he's probably a good thing to blossom. I'm just guessing, you know, I mean, if you're like an average player, if you're a whale, I mean, you probably don't give a crap about this guy, but again, don't take the... I'm not... guys, I don't know what I'm talking about, necessarily. My knowledge is very dated. Okay, this guy is the 65-point unit onto the group. The other 3 are all 50 points. So again, remember, it's good, you know, even if I said the first 2 dragons are not terribly exciting, remember that they're 50-point units. So if you have them sitting at 3 or 5 Awakening, if you've got extra Blossom materials, it's probably good to have, you know, some good 50-point units, some type coverage at 50. You know, breath damage is pretty good. Okay, so this is an interesting guy. I'm actually going to read what they say about him. His base characteristics allow him to negate attacks below 30% of his maximum HP. Furthermore, if he's talent blossomed, he learns to hold back at 1 HP. Oh, so he gets Indomitable Spirit. A heal, and he removes status. Okay, so we'll look more into that. But so it looks like he gets Indomitable Spirit. He gets a revive. Okay. Even more powerful with the... Well, yeah, this is just like everything. Oh, he's getting more HP too. Okay. This is something I'm excited to get. This is a unit. By the way, they're gonna have a banner. I'm not gonna bring it up. Sorry, I should have thought to bring up the Twitter post from the Japanese version. There will be a... This is getting relatively standard now. There's going to be a 3-time paid only banner, okay, where you do... I don't know what their featured rate will be. They'll be higher than the thing. So it'll be these 4 Blossom units that I'm talking about right now. These 4 units from DQ9. They're going to be on one banner. It's going to be paid once only. Okay, the first 2 multis are going to have a guaranteed S rank. And like I said, they'll have a much higher rate than the general pool. But I don't know. They'll probably be like a 0.25 pull rate each. I can't imagine they're going to go... Well, I don't know. They might be 0.7 or 0.5. Maybe 0.5. Because it's still going to be a 4% S rate rank. Anyway. And then the third pull will give you a ticket that you can use to trade in for one of them. So I know I've already got this guy, Corvus. I've got him unawakened, so I will be doing that paid once only set and definitely getting an awakening on this guy. So if you don't have this guy or you've only got low awakenings on him, if you pay to play, 9,000 paid gems will get you at least 1 copy of this guy or any of these units. Okay. The weak point, there's almost no firepower increase property. So his blossoming didn't increase his attack power much. Okay. So this guy's probably not going to be hitting as hard as modern units. Okay. Now his OG abilities. So he's got a first ability. This guy, I mean, who's looked at this guy in a long time? Angel's Protection reduces damage you receive by 50% 1 time, and increases spell power and effect for 3 turns. I believe this is a 1.5% potency increase. Or no, it's probably only 15% because it lasts for 3 turns. Okay. But, you know, this can have some utility because he's reducing a lot of damage. He's already reducing damage by 30%. I don't know if these are stack or are multiplicative, so I don't know if it's going to be 65 or 80% damage reduction. I believe that's how it works. I believe that's the correct math. But yeah, this guy's not going to be taking much damage if you use this. That even has some PvP use sometimes. I mean, if this is the guy that they want to hit, I don't know how they deal with damage reduction with the AI, actually. Anyway. Psycho Burst deals heavy neutral spell damage to one enemy and has a high chance of lowering spell resistance for one. So often lowers spell resistance. That's going to be useful in some PvE fights, if you can actually lower it. In Arena, you know, when I say Arena, I really just mean PvP. This is not useless, but, you know, the fact that it's a 60% chance is good. But, you know, you usually want to be taking things out in 1 or 2 hits. So it's not necessarily that big a deal, but it is nice. And then he does Kaswoosh, dual Kaswoosh, or whatever they call it. So it's basically Kaswoosh twice. Major whoosh spell damage. Pretty standard range, you know, it's like Crackle range. His new ability, though... Alright, now that's a nice attack pattern. This is actually just like, if you know a Stark's new ability, this is the exact same range, okay? Deals heavy whoosh spell damage and zap spell damage to all enemies within range. So, I don't know how much more powerful, if at all, this is going to be than his original ability. But, it's a large attack area, and it's going to be one major spell hit of Whoosh and one major spell hit of Zap, so that's good. Let me see. Yeah, this is his base perk. Disables damage below 30% of your maximum HP. So whatever his maximum HP is... So, okay, so it's not exactly 30% reduction. So if this guy has 1,000 HP, and you deal 500 damage to him, he's gonna negate 300 of that damage. So... but yeah, so if he takes less than 300 damage, he's taking nothing. Let me see. Let's look at his base perks for, because this is the guy I'm most excited about. Wow, this is a long video. Sorry. All right. So at start of action on odd number turns, he increases defense, movement, and spell resistance for 3 turns. Okay, so no firepower increase there, but yeah, he's upping his defense, his movement, and his spell resistance. He resists bang and zap. I believe zap resistance is good right now. His third awakening. This is where he gets some extra spell power on turns 2 and beyond. Increases spell power for 3 turns at the start of action on even numbered turns up to the time. Oh, okay. So Fallen Angel Corvus has something similar, but it's based on number of enemies he hits. So this is just even turns. He gets a potency increase. Okay. So, the longer you go into battle, the more damage he's going to do. Well, up to 3 stacks. Alright, so his new talent traits. When your HP falls below 70%, recover your HP by half your maximum. Activates only once. Can be activated from attacks by allies. So, this is great. This guy's going to have a lot of damage mitigation, and he's going to be able to heal himself once. Talent trait 2, remove some status abnormalities. It activates as an effect. Okay, so I don't know what the difference is when it states it like this, but okay, so he's going to have not status immunity, but status recovery. I don't know if that's a big difference. Okay, and then yeah, he gets Indomitable Spirit. And then he's getting some more HP. So yeah, this guy looks like he's going to be pretty interesting. I'll have to see him in action. Again, don't take my word for anything, but this guy I'm interested in. I love the high, I love the huge attack range. I love the mitigation. He could have some just ridiculous survivability. We'll find out. And then lastly, I'll finally end this 33-minute video. God, it's like God, Emperor, King, something. Who cares? This guy, like the other units, this guy came out. Oh, I forgot. Fallen Angel Corvus actually came out with all these guys, and he's not getting blossomed yet. I said it was all the banner units from DQ9, all the gacha units. It's not. I forgot they had 5 for that event. So anyway, the thing with this guy, I don't know how bad he was when he came out, but literally nobody could care less about him. Because Graynarl came out, Corvus came out, and Fallen Angel Corvus came out. Nobody gave a crap about this guy. And he has a perk that revolves around him dying. Almost every mode in the game, doesn't really allow you to die for, like, full, for mission requirements and stuff like that. Or PvP, you lose points and stuff. So, a death perk is awful. I'm not gonna read these. You can pause. Okay. Okay. His OG abilities. I'm not even gonna. Yeah, you can read these yourself. I've already been going on too long. I don't really care about this guy. Now, I will say, based on the fact that he has some traps when he dies, could be a really interesting GVG defense unit. Do not underestimate going outside of the meta. People don't know how to handle units that aren't in the meta sometimes. So this guy could be, if you've got this guy sitting in your box, highly awakened, this could be really, really good for your GVG defense. So what's his new ability? Range 1 to 2. That's bad. Single target. Deals heavy Zam martial damage to one enemy and increases own dodge rate for 3 turns. So I would imagine this gives you 1 stack of physical evasion. Well, that's interesting. It's not great. It's interesting. I kind of like it. So if you keep using this turn, you'll be at 20%, 40%, 60% evasion. Now, if you're relying on this evasion and you're using this guy, make sure you remember, before this guy acts, he literally has 0 evasion. So, that's the same thing with Sorrow units, too. Like, the new Summer Sorrow, if you want to take him out ASAP, be careful. After he acts, he will have evasion. Before he takes his first action, he doesn't have any. So yeah, this is his base perk. When you're defeated by an enemy attack and you're in a position where you can counterattack, yeah, so you activate an attack when you die. I believe it puts just curse on everything. I don't think there's any damage. So yeah, what is... Oh, okay, so we can counter with an evil trap. I don't know if it does damage or if it's just curse. I know this guy puts out curse effects when he dies. Third Awakening is a 2-turn spell reflect barrier. And Fifth Awakening is a full-on physical, a martial potency boost for 3 turns. Okay, so his talent traits increases power for 3 turns. Power could be move. I'm not gonna bother looking. It could be attack, it could be potency, it could be attack, it could be movement, it could be defense. Translation is very weird. For 3 turns from the start of battle and becomes automatically revived. He gets 25% of his maximum HP on revive. For 99 turns? Okay. I don't know what the 99 turns things is. It's going to be a one-time revive, I'm sure. Anyway. When starting a battle, starting an action, or reviving, if your HP is below 50%, damage dealt to enemies increases by 30%. Okay. And then he gets some extra HP. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know. This guy... Again, I don't really know what's going on. I didn't even look at his old moves. You can if you look. Oh, Evil Trap. This is what he counters with. Deals martial enemy to... martial damage, so typeless martial damage. And creates a barrier space for 2 turns. Okay, I believe the barrier space is does 100 damage or something like that. I could be wrong, though. Anyway, look into this guy on your own. If you've got him highly awakened, he might be worth blossoming too. Anyway, I'm gonna finally end it here. This is way too long a video, but this is what's around the corner. Okay. Also, if you made it this far, if you're looking for a guild, if you're looking to trade up, Chasers 2. That's what we're calling CG13 now. We still got a spot or 2 open, so hit me up. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Discord is in the description. Even if you don't want to join the guild, it's a fun Discord, so join us. Have a good night, guys.